24 hours in colonial America. 3 rules to stay alive. You open your eyes, and everything feels wrong. The hum of your refrigerator? Gone. The warm glow of your phone screen? Gone. The comfort of your bed? Replaced by a scratchy wool blanket stuffed with straw. You sit up and realize the air smells of smoke, sweat, and something sour. Welcome to 1720 Colonial America. The question isn't just whether you'd survive. It's how quickly you'd learn that everything you rely on in the 21st century simply doesn't exist. Imagine stepping out of a small wooden cabin. The morning air is freezing. Your breath forms white clouds, and all around you is the sound of a world just waking up. Chickens scratching the dirt, a dog barking somewhere down the road, the thump of an axe splitting wood. Your stomach growls. There's no cereal box waiting, no coffee machine humming. If you want breakfast, you're going to have to earn it. But don't panic. Today isn't just about surviving. It's about learning how to thrive here. This is your ultimate time traveler's survival guide. We'll walk through the first 24 hours, show you how to become the most valuable person in the settlement, and teach you how to outsmart the seasons so you don't just survive the year. You leave this world better than you found it. Are you ready to turn shock into strategy? Let's get started. 1. The first 24 hours. Shock, fire, and water. The first 24 hours will be the most dangerous. You're standing barefoot on a rough wooden floor, and the chill bites into your skin. Your breath fogs the air. In front of you is a small pile of glowing embers. The only thing keeping this cabin from turning into an icebox. If those embers die, you don't just lose heat. You lose light, the ability to cook, and quite possibly your life. Here's your first challenge. Fire. Priority 1. Keep the flame alive. Modern survival experts talk about the rule of threes. 3 minutes without air. 3 hours without shelter in freezing cold. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food. In 1720, this isn't a theory. It's your reality. Colonial families often woke up several times a night to feed the hearth. Let it go out, and it might take hours to restart with flint and steel, if you even have them. Your modern advantage? You understand airflow. You know to stir the coals gently. Add dry kindling first, then bigger logs. Within minutes, the fire roars back to life, casting dancing shadows on the cabin walls. Fail this step, and you risk hypothermia before sunrise. Priority 2. Find safe water. Your next task is water. That small wooden bucket in the corner? It's filled from the nearby stream. Crystal clear, ice cold, and teeming with bacteria that could kill you in a week. This is where your 21st century brain kicks in. You know about germs, even if nobody else does. You stoke the fire until it's strong enough to hold a pot. Pour in the water and wait for it to boil. The colonists will watch curiously. Many of them don't connect boiling with health, just with cooking. Congratulations, you just became the healthiest person in the settlement. Shelter and warmth. With fire and water handled, you turn to your surroundings. The gaps in the log walls are letting in icy drafts. You grab leftover straw and clay, packing it into the cracks. A simple fix, but it could mean the difference between a survivable winter and a deadly one. Real history backs this up. During the Great Frost of 1709, one of the coldest winters in European history, entire villages froze because they couldn't maintain heat. Colonists who sealed their cabins and kept a steady fire survived. Those who didn't. Food can wait. For now, your stomach growls, but here's the good news. You can go 3 weeks without food, but only days without safe water and warmth. By the time the fire is stable and your water safe, you've already survived the most dangerous morning of your life. Lesson of the day. Survival isn't about heroics. It's about priorities. Modern life teaches us to panic when our phone battery dies. Colonial life teaches you that what really matters is fire, water, shelter, then food. You've made it through the first dawn. Your fire is crackling, your water is safe, and the cabin is warmer than when you woke up. But survival is more than just staying alive. If you want to thrive here, to stop being an outsider and become someone the settlement can't live without, you need to start creating value. And that's exactly what we'll do next. 2. Building your value. From outsider to MVP of the settlement. Surviving? The first night gives you something precious. Time. Time to think, plan, and look around at the world you've just landed in. As the sun rises higher, you step outside. The ground is still frozen, and the air smells like wood smoke and livestock. A few neighbors glance your way. They don't smile. To them, you're just a stranger in their world, someone who hasn't proven their worth yet. Here's your next challenge. You can't stay an outsider forever. In a settlement of just a few dozen people, trust is currency, and right now, you don't have any. Step 1. Win trust through action, not words. Your instinct might be to start explaining everything you know, that boiling water saves lives, that crop rotation could feed more people, that they should wash their hands more often. Stop. In 1720, being too clever can get you branded as arrogant, or worse, as dangerous. Witch trials may have been fading, but suspicion of strange knowledge still ran deep. Instead, you lead with action. You fix the draft in your cabin. You share a bucket of clean boiled water with a neighbor, casually mentioning you tried a trick you heard about from a traveler. When they don't get sick, word spreads. Trust builds slowly, but it builds. Step 2. Solve a problem. Everyone feels colonial life has no shortage of problems. Spoiled meat, rancid butter, constant sickness. Your modern brain starts scanning for quick wins. One of the simplest? Soap. You know how to make lye soap from ashes and animal fat, something every homestead already has. Within a few days, you're showing a small group how to wash hands before meals. The results are immediate. Fewer sick children, fewer wasted workdays. Suddenly, you're not just a stranger. You're the person who made life better. Step 3. Introduce better systems. Once people trust you, you can think bigger. You notice the fields aren't being rotated, which will exhaust the soil within a few seasons. You suggest alternating crops. Beans one year, corn the next. Claiming you heard it from a farmer near Boston. You show them how to stack straw and sawdust to build an ice house, letting them keep meat longer into summer. You help dig a drainage ditch to keep cabins dry in spring. Every idea you offer is practical, visible, and easy to explain. No future tech, no big speeches, just better results. Real history. Example. Samuel Higley, a Connecticut blacksmith, became wealthy in the early 1700s by improving iron smelting techniques. His entire community benefited because he shared tools and knowledge. You're following the same principle, turning know-how into social capital. Lesson of the day: value creates safety. The more useful you are, the harder it becomes for anyone to ignore, exclude, or harm you. In 1720, being valuable could literally save your life. In 2025, it still can. Except today, your settlement is your workplace, your neighborhood, or your online community. Now that you've earned your place among them, you face your biggest challenge yet: time itself. Seasons are turning, and the real test of your survival isn't a single night or a single problem. It's whether you can help this entire community make it through a full year. And that means learning to master the seasons. 3. Mastering the seasons, long-term survival and legacy. By now, you've earned your place in the settlement. People greet you by name, invite you to meals, even ask for advice. But surviving a one night, even 1 month, is only the beginning. The real challenge is surviving a full year. Spring, the season of planting. Spring in colonial America is muddy, unpredictable, and full of promise. This is when you start putting your modern knowledge to work. You gather the farmers and suggest crop rotation and companion planting. Beans to fix nitrogen, corn for food, squash to shade the soil. You sketch simple diagrams in the dirt, showing how this increases yields without more land. The children laugh at the funny three sisters pattern, but they help plant anyway. And when the shoots sprout strong and green, your credibility grows even more. Summer, the preservation race. Summer is hot, full of mosquitoes, and deceptively dangerous. This is when you teach everyone about food safety. You help build drying racks for meat and herbs. You explain why covering barrels keeps flies out and sickness away. You show how to use salt properly for curing meat. It's sweaty, exhausting work. But every slice of dried meat, every jar of pickled vegetables, is a promise. We will eat in winter. Fall, the great harvest. By autumn, you can feel the tension in the air. The entire community works from dawn until dark to bring in the crops. This is where your organizational skills shine. You suggest dividing tasks by skill. Children gathering beans, strong men stacking hay, women packing root cellars. Efficiency means fewer wasted hours and more food stored before the frost hits. You introduce simple inventory tracking, a chalk tally on the barn wall, so no one is surprised when supplies run low. Winter, the final test. Winter is the season that decides who lives to see spring again. Nights stretch long, temperatures plummet, and sickness creeps through cabins. But this time, you're ready. You've taught people to seal their homes against drafts, to boil water for drinking, to air out bedding on clear days. When a neighbor comes down with fever, you quietly suggest isolating them in a separate cabin, an early form of quarantine. It's difficult, but it saves others from getting sick. Lesson of the year. Mastering the seasons isn't just about survival. It's about creating stability, security, and hope. Your presence has turned this settlement from a place of fear into a place of resilience. And here's the deeper truth. You didn't just survive 1720. You changed it. You left behind a stronger, healthier, more prepared community. Your legacy, written in every full pantry and every life saved. As the snow melts and spring returns, you step outside and watch children laughing in a safer, better-fed settlement. And you realize something powerful. The lessons you learned here don't just belong to the past. They might be exactly what we need in the present. Let's talk about that. As you stand outside that little cabin, the first spring breeze on your face, you realize something. You didn't just survive colonial America, you became part of it. You took a single terrifying morning, cold, hungry, unsure, and turned it into a year of growth, trust, and contribution. You kept fires burning, water clean, food safe, and neighbors alive. You left behind a stronger, wiser settlement than the one you found. And here's the truth. You don't need a time machine to use those lessons. The same skills that made you valuable in 1720, problem solving, prioritizing what really matters, helping others, are exactly the skills that make life richer today. In a world full of distractions, you now know what counts: fire, water, shelter, community. So here's my challenge to you. What's one thing you can do today to make your own settlement stronger? Your family, your workplace, your community? Because surviving is good, but thriving, that's how you leave a legacy. If this journey through time inspired you, hit that subscribe button and join me for more adventures into history's toughest challenges. Drop a comment below. What modern skill would you bring back to the 1700s? And don't miss next week's episode. We're heading to medieval London, right into the middle of the Black Death. Trust me, you'll want every bit of 21st century medical knowledge for that one.